Hi, this is Susie with Creative Cafe, and I want to do a tutorial on how to make this little mini in a box album, like I made out of the Wizard of Oz. Now, the only thing is, on mine, I originally used cardstock, and then I papered my box and my flaps, but I'm going to use double-sided just to show you on this tutorial. And I will have all the measurements on my blog, creativecafegirl.blogspot.com, so if you need the list of the measurements, I will have them there. Just go to the tutorials page and just kind of scroll down to the bottom and they'll be there. What you need to do is you need to get your top cover piece cut at 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. You want to score it at 1 1/4 inch, and then score it at 2 1/4 inches. And then you want to take, after you have scored the 1 1/4 inch and at 2 1/4 inches, you want to simply take your paper, and I use this side, and you want to score a 1/2 inch all the way around. So just measure a 1/2 inch there, and then just score it all the way around. Okay, and then once you have scored that all the way around, you want to, I would go ahead and fold my lines in there where you scored. Just get them nice and creased. And then what you want to do is simply clip right up to the corner of where your score lines meet. Now on this, you will want to use a good adhesive. Just for the tutorial, I'm going to use just this little cheap adhesive, so, but it won't stay shut if you don't use a good adhesive. So I'm going to just close this, and I think I might have cut more off on one side than I should have. Nope, looks okay. Alright, and then of course press them score lines down. This is your top cover. So just set it aside, and then you'll need a bottom cover. And for a bottom cover, you will need 7 1/4 by 12. And then on your 12-inch side, you want to score at 6 inches and at 7 inches. And then once you get them scored, I'd go ahead and kind of press it a little bit. And then you want to do just like the top cover and score a 1/2 inch all the way around. Fold that 1/2 inch score line there, and then clip your corners just like you did on your top cover piece. Okay? And just fold them in. Okay? And once you get them folded in, just really good and crease those score lines. And this is what is going to make your box. Now make sure that the short end is to you where you have scored, and the long end is away from you. So, and I use sticky strip on this side, is what I did. And then take it and just place it right under the score line. You don't want to put it right on top of it, because then it won't bend over like it should. So anyway, this is what actually makes your box piece right here. This is your cover. And I need to check my camera because I thought maybe the batteries were going, but they look okay. Okay, so, and this is what I'm talking about, cheap adhesive, because it just won't stick. You really need a good, strong adhesive. So, what you're going to need next is a top flap, and you're going to want it 6 1/4 by 6 1/2. And on your 6 1/2 inch side, you want to score it a 1/2 inch up from the end, and then 1 inch, and round your corners. And then this is kind of hard to attach, but I'm going to show you a little easier way here. Since it is the top flap, it is simply going to go right here. Okay, and then bend it up. And that I found to be the easiest way to do that. And then you'll need a bottom flap, which is going to be 6 1/4 by 7 1/8. And on the 7 1/8 side, you want to score it at a 1/2 inch from the end and 1 1/4 inches. And then just lay that 1/2 inch flap to you, stick your strip on, press it down just like this, and then right up against that score line, that bottom score line, or I guess it'd be the top score line right there, you want to just attach that. And then make sure you don't do it on this score line, because this is your box piece. You want to always make sure that is the bottom there. Okay, then you're going to need 2 large flaps, and they are 5 3/8 by 7 1/2 inch. And on the 7 1/2 inch side, you want to score at a 1/2 inch and 1 1/2 inches. And you want to round your corners. And these are going to be the same way. You're going to adhere these down. You're going to go right to the very top of that score line and that score line, and right on the edge of your cover. Then you're going to do the same thing with this one. You're going to get your adhesive, and you're going to just press it. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. You want to go right down to your score line and go right against your cover, and there is your other piece. Okay? Then you're going to have 2, these are larger flaps. I call these the larger flaps. Then you're going to make 2 smaller flaps, and they are 5 3/8 by 7. And on your 7 inch side, you're going to score at a 1/2 inch and 1 inch and round your corners. Same way, you're going to want to take that 1/2 inch and kind of push it to you and put it right, oh, I want it this side. And then you're going to want to push it right against that other score line there. And then this is going to be the same way. You want to put your adhesive on and go right up against the top score line, bottom, and right here where you have creased that. So this is what it looks like. Okay. Now, I call this piece the flap on flap, and it is a 5 1/2 by 5 3/4. And on your 5 3/4 side, you want to score it a 1/2 inch up from the bottom of your paper. So then what you want to do is simply add your adhesive, and this is where I added my little flap right here. Now make sure when you're adding your flap, though, that you do not get on this score line. You don't want on that score line. So then what you're going to have is you're going to take and you're going to have a flap, a flap, a flap. Put the bottom one up. These are your larger flap and your flap, and then you're going to have your cover pieces. And this is your box. It's that simple. So anyway, I hope that this helps. If you have any questions, you can always just leave me a comment on my blog or on my on the video, and I'll try to answer your questions. Thanks so much for watching.